February, the month of purification, love, and the returning light. Through the ancient European pagan cultures and Christianity, it had these meanings because of the signals nature and the duration of the day were giving off. What are these ancient pagan traditions? What do South Germans still celebrate today? And what can we all take away from that to make our February a happy and successful one? I'm Alina and you're on my YouTube channel The Art of Nature Germany. In my videos I show you our simple life in rural alpine Germany, talk about Bavarian traditions, paganism and sustainability, and take you on adventures into the mountains. So here you find basically everything that has to do with nature and how to honor and protect it. If that sounds great, feel free to subscribe and join our friends group here. Welcome to my new series about the spiritual meanings of the months. In Roman, Celtic and Germanic paganism, Christianity and today's German culture in general. Before I start, a little disclaimer. All the following information is very Eurocentric, as its origins lay in German and other European cultures. During my studies of the months in paganism and spirituality, I realized that the feasts and meanings of the months came to be because nature is sending certain signals during this time, like the duration of the day and the night, or what is growing in nature, what tasks in agriculture need to be performed, and also what the animals do. So if you live in a similar climate zone as Middle Europe, so a humid, temperate and continental climate on a similar latitude, these energies of the month can also be felt at your place. And the tasks I explain in the end will also feel very natural to you. If you don't live in a similar climate zone, you can keep on watching for educating yourself about European, Germanic and today's German culture, of course. So let's dive right into February! So February is the month of purification. The name February comes from the Roman purification festival Februar, and Februare can also mean purify in Latin. In ancient Rome, certain purification rituals were held to expel the demons of the winter and to get rid of them. To basically get rid of the stagnant energy of the winter, to release all the blockades you might have in your head, in your mind, in your spirit, in your soul, and to basically make space for new positive energy. These rituals back then were performed with candles and smoke for purification. And what also comes from the Roman culture is actually Valentine's Day. The ancient Romans observed that in the middle of February, certain bird species start their mating rituals. So what they did is to celebrate the feast of the love goddess Juno Februata during that time. You see, also the name of the love goddess has February in their name. She was believed to call the animals out of their hibernation and to initiate their mating rituals. What ancient Roman men did on this festival was to bring flowers to women, because flowers were the representation of the love goddess on earth. I think that is quite funny, because what we do on Valentine's Day today is basically the same. Men bring flowers to women and we spend time with our loved ones. That is what we should do on this day. And that is what also the ancient Roman people did. In the beginning of February, we have another important pagan feast that is very much aligned with the meaning of the month. Imbolc is celebrated in the night from the 1st to the 2nd of February. And it is the celebration of the returning of the light. Just think about why that is. It is kind of logical. You know, in Middle Europe, the winter is quite dark. We have a long night and a short day. So in the beginning of February, you can already sense a change, that the days are getting longer again and the daylight is longer with us. So of course we have celebrations for the returning of the light in ancient cultures here, because you have to know these people back then, the winter was really hard for them. It was difficult to survive. So when they could sense the first signs of spring, like the returning light, of course they wanted to celebrate it. Of course it was a sign of hope for them. Okay, summer and spring is coming again. So it will be easier to get food and it will be easier to keep yourself warm again. So surely they did all the celebrations for the returning light and also to expel the winter demons, to get rid of winter as fast as possible. Just keep that in mind for the rest of the video. So Imbolc in this country was celebrated with torch parades or candlelight. It was custom to lit a candle in the night from the 1st to the 2nd of February, so when Imbolc was celebrated, and to keep it burning through the whole night. If you want to know more about the pagan Imbolc, by the way, you should check the video from The Witch's Cookery. She did an amazing video about Imbolc, very informative, so check that out. When Middle Europe got Catholic Christian, the Christians also took over the Imbolc traditions into their religion and made Imbolc to be candlemas, Lichtmesse in German, or Lichtmess. On this day, all the candles get blessed for the year by the priest. So this Christian feast is also very much about light and candles. The maybe biggest celebration here in Germany in February is Fasching, or carnival, or Fastnacht. It is a very wild feast and it also has its origin in the pagan cultures of Middle Europe. Back then, it was also a celebration of expelling the winter demons again, and it was a very wild celebration with lots of fun and lots of dancing and I think even alcohol. And that's what it's basically also today. If you ever come during this time to Germany, you will see the Germans go crazy. Okay? I know that we have the reputation in the world that we are very serious, but you won't find us that way during this time, I promise. It is a very fun and wild feast today. So what we do is to put on some costumes. We dress as princesses or animals or movie characters, and it is always a lot of alcohol involved, like a lot of alcohol, and everyone is going really crazy. There are a lot of carnival, Faschings parties, and in our region there are also Faschings parades where the people do really crazy vehicles and craft very fun stuff, and everyone is dressing up in some costumes, so it is insane. Well, I wish I could take you someday to a Fasching celebration and a Faschings parade, but this year they will not take place because of Corona. Maybe next year. February is also called Weibermonat in Germany, which means month of the women. And that is because the women were the chiefs during this time back then. You have to think about it again. In the end of winter, the food supplies would get less and less and less. And who were the person in the house who watched over the food supplies? Well, the women did. So they they were the chiefs during that time. And there are also very fun traditions held during this time in February, where groups of women go out dressed up as witches and cut the ties of men on the street. And especially the ties of politicians, like local politicians, as the mayor, for example. My uncle was the mayor in our village for some time, and every year there would be something. Like the witches, the women would come and put him into a cage and dress him up as a pig, for example. That happened in one year. So you see, it is the month where the women rule. Actually, the Roman name for the month February, or Februar in Germany, was adopted in the 16th century. Before that, the month was called Hornung. That is because the deer were throwing off their horns during that time. And also, the English word horny originates from that, because the animals would start their mating rituals. So you can see, it is all about the love. February. Okay, finally in the end of February, or even in the beginning of March, there is the last big feast of February that is held up in especially this region. It is called Funken, or Funkenfeuer. I will insert a map where you can see in which region this feast is celebrated. You can see it's just the very south of Germany and Switzerland and France. These are the main regions. So it is very, very typical and unique in my region where I'm coming from, for Germany. The Funken is an old fire custom that also origins in the pagan time. Back then it was a feast for the earth, for Mother Earth, and a feast for the light and for also expelling the winter demons again. So it's basically a worshipping of the returning light. Being so happy that the light returns that we will lit a big fire so it happens more quickly. I think that is the thought behind of that. And also to scare away the winter, because look, we got fire, we got warmth. You can go now. In some regions they make a huge mountain out of straw and lit it. And here in this region it's kind of different. We use the old Christmas trees. So they find a last purpose for that. In our village they will make a huge mountain of all the Christmas trees of the village, and it will get a big fire. So it's usually done like this in our village. The whole village would meet at the church in the evening when it is already dark, and everyone gets a torch. Or I think you have to pay for the torch, but I mean that doesn't matter, it's not that much, and everyone lights it. So the whole village, and especially the children of the village, will do a huge torch parade out of the village on a mountain over the village, where other villagers already made this huge Christmas tree mountain. Then the traditional music band of our village, with all the traditional music instruments, will play some songs. And after that there will be someone who will give the command to throw the torch into the Christmas tree mountain. And it takes on fire quite fast. Also in our region it is the custom that they will build a huge witch out of straw and old clothing and put it on a stick in the middle of the Christmas tree mountain. And everyone is waiting that the witch will burn and the stick will like fall into the huge fire. Yeah, I know, it reminds a lot of witch burning in medieval ages, where actual people got burned in fires. That's a little bit weird, but it is the tradition, and this straw witch in the Christmas tree mountain is the winter, so the winter witch that will be burned and then the winter will go away. So that is the thought behind that. It is a celebration. When the fire burns, everyone is standing around it, the music band will play again. There is also food and drinks. You can buy like sausage and bread, that's the traditional food for this day, and also like a special sweet bakery. It is very fun, and yeah, I hope that I can show you this tradition actually this year in a vlog. At the moment our village plans to do it, and I hope that there will be no restrictions that will forbid to hold it, but at the moment they want to do it. So I think this year it is quite late. It is also because Fasching and carnival is very late this year, so it's already in March. I think Funken this year is on the 6th of March. So well, if it takes place, I will take you to go to our Funken in our village. It will be so fun, and you will see the big fire. So now, as we heard of all the traditions and the traditional meanings of the months and how they came to be because of energies in nature, there are some tasks we can perform during this time, and they will be very natural to do for us, so maybe they will go a little bit smoother or better. So as February is about purification and making space for new things, you can, basically make spring cleaning during this time. And also sort out all the old things you do not longer need. Delete old stuff on your phone or wherever and make it organized again. And also clean your mind. Are there beliefs, for example, that do not longer serve you? Is there some trauma you want to cure or whatever? It can be anything. And well, it's a good month to do that and to start with that. And to make you fresh for summer, where you don't have so much time to clean everything and sort out anymore because you are more outside and more active in the summer. So I think that also comes because the farmers back in the days did the same during February. They prepared everything for the new agricultural season. So they have everything ready when it starts and when they have taken care of the fields and the animals outside. So it's basically natural in us to do all these things in February, and I actually already started. I organized my computer and my laptop already. I washed the floor, which I do not often enough. That's why it's part of the spring cleaning. Okay, great friends, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed learning about February in this ancient European and Germanic and German cultures. I really burn for this topic. I think it is so interesting how everything is aligned with nature and with what happens in nature and what we can learn from it basically. And I'm also very fascinated by these old customs that exist in this region and still take place today. I think that's very fascinating. What do you think? So I wish you a beautiful February. And I hope that you can get rid of some old things and make space for new stuff or ideas or whatever. Have a great time and see you next week.